there's a 1 in 1 million chance of making it as an American in the entertainment industry. Now imagine a Nigerian that grew up in Nigeria, had no connections, and today she is an acclaimed international superstar. Yes, I dug my heart for Ayra Starr, and that's the person I'm going to talk about. She has done so well for herself when you consider where she came from. Yes, she came from the most populous black nation, Nigeria, with little or no connection. Today, she's an international celebrity. So I give her all the flowers. But there's something worrisome that Ayra Starr herself may not know about. She revealed it inadvertently when she was having an interview. And this is something that even Nigerian parents should know about. Poverty is a companion that most Africans are forced to live with. So when you live in Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, anywhere in Africa, and you have an opportunity to relocate to America, it is like what you want. You will do anything, practically anything, to relocate. Imagine you are not only given a chance to visit America as much as you want. When you get to America, you are celebrated by all and sundry. Yes, that is the life that Ayra Starr is living in Nigeria. Yes, recently in an American platform, a very formidable American platform, she got an opportunity to talk about her life, to talk about her career as a musician. And she was celebrated. They celebrated her so much. The audience, they loved her. They loved her vibe. She was even given the opportunity to perform. But there's something she said during the interview that got me a bit worried, because as she was talking, Ayra Starr, you know the thing about Nigerians, the average Nigerian believes in God. We are not that kind of people that will say, oh, there's no God, or we are atheists or stuff like that. No, Nigerians are very spiritual and religious, and Ayra Starr is not an exception. In fact, as she was talking about the interview, she talked about how God brought her the opportunity to be friends with somebody, and that God just orchestrated the relationship she had with that particular female. So that is the kind of answer. That's the kind of thing that you expect from an average African Nigeria. We talk about God. And I know Ayra Starr, deep down, there's something in her that she loves God. But she may have gotten herself into something. I would even call it, as far as calling it, a cult without even realizing it. People just think that cults are, sometimes to go to a cult, you have to now wear a funny dress, do oath, blood oath and stuff. Sometimes you can be initiated into a cult without even realizing that. Okay, so let me just give the context. So as they were interviewing Ayra Starr in that interview, she started talking about that from her childhood, she really loved a personality that many Nigerians are familiar with. This personality, TV personality, is a fictional personality, Hannah Montana. Yes, Hannah Montana is a Disney character, and she's someone that young Nigerians followed from time past. Now, if you see a Nigerian, maybe a Nigerian that is a Gen Z, or that is an alpha generation, they grew up watching sitcoms, watching Hannah Montana sitcoms on Disney. And Ayra Starr is not an exception. She said how as a young person she watched Hannah Montana and she really wanted to be like Hannah Montana, which is not a bad thing if you look at it on the surface level. But the American entertainment industry is deep and dark. That is what people don't realize. They do things like, one thing that if you tell an average person that, okay, there are some people that are actually devil worshippers. So let's not pretend about it. Some people actually know that they are devil worshippers and they are cool with it. But if you tell an average Nigerian that they are a devil worshipper, they would even run away. Or if they see the devil in his full colors coming out to them and telling them that I want to initiate you into this or that thing, they will run away. No, the average Nigerian will not want, or the average African will not want anything to do with the devil. But what people don't know is that the devil will not come the way he is. He will come disguised as something else most of the time. He will bring something that looks so attractive and you'll be so irresistible that you find it so hard to resist. Now, the Hannah Montana character, this is my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact, but this is my opinion, and it's a very strong opinion. And by the time I finish this video, you understand what I'm talking about, especially parents, even young people. You know, whatever you watch, whatever you listen to affects you. So as Ayra Starr was giving the interview, she talked about how she was so intrigued by the Hannah Montana character and she wanted to be like her, which is cool, I guess some people would say. But now, people don't realize that what they do in the American entertainment industry is that they try to initiate young people from a very young age. You know, you see something that people don't understand is that the devil doesn't have an age. He can use 1,000 years to plan something to destroy a family. He can wait for 1,000 years. He's very patient because he doesn't have the life expectancy of humans. He lives far longer. He's a spirit, so he can plan something. So what they do in the American entertainment industry is that they want to start initiating children from young people, initiating young adults from a very young age. Yes, that's what they try to do. So they now bring these sitcoms, they bring these programs that look very innocent. They bring characters like the Hannah Montana character. So a child will grow up and get used to watching Hannah Montana, her sitcoms, and as a child, and as a Hannah Montana character is growing up to be a teenager or an adolescent, the child watching it is also growing up. So you see the context. So you are now used to Hannah Montana. For people that don't know, the Hannah Montana character is played by Miley Cyrus. Yes, I hope I'm correct. Played by Miley Cyrus. Today, as we speak, Miley Cyrus, we know her lifestyle is not something that any parent or anybody would advise their offspring, their non-adult offspring, to be involved to be like. Yes, like Miley Cyrus has openly, she has not minced words. I will call it an allegation, but she has supported so many things that are very un-African and in a sense very ungodly. She has supported things like the LGBT lifestyle openly. She even said that as long as adults are involved, whatever it is, in fact, she identifies or she supports, she calls herself I think gender fluid or whatever when it comes to her preferences for for romantic relationships, that she can date a male or female, anybody, as long as they are adults. So for young people now, what people don't realize, when you allow your child to watch things like Disney, they are children that, yeah, they are, you see them as, but they are grooming those people. They're introducing them to lifestyle, so that by the time those non-adults, like Miley Cyrus, when she was a non-adult, by the time they become adults, you now see them living a funny lifestyle. There's another lady they call Ravine or Ravon. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it well. This person is a Black American. I think being Raven or being Ravon. I know I'm saying rubbish now, but please correct me. I used to watch, or I used to see these things a long time ago. I'm not being Raven or something. Was also a character in Disney, and today she's openly an LGBT. She's living an LGBT lifestyle. Now, imagine you're a parent and your non-adult offspring has been watching Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, and as the Hannah Montana character and the Raven character. And your offspring has been watching this thing on and on. By the time they are 12, 13, some of them are even young adults today, they would follow these people and now start copying their lifestyle. That is the ultimate aim. They want your non-adult child to be initiated, to like watching those things, to get used to those characters. And as the characters get older, they now start introducing those characters to living a very, very wild and ungodly lifestyle. But because your child is so attached to that character, like people now, your people in their 20s, if they talk about Miley Cyrus, they know her. But her lifestyle, she may be a billionaire, but her lifestyle, trust me, if you go deep into her lifestyle, is nothing to write home about. But because your non-adult offspring were so used to watching her, by the time they become young adults themselves, they would want to copy and imbibe that lifestyle. This is how the American entertainment industry, they are sucking people in. Now, someone like Ayra Starr, I don't want to say, okay, she's supposed to wear this particular cloth or not. But when you see her performances, in fact, she went on the Jennifer Hudson show. She was shown on the Jennifer Hudson show, and I tried to watch the musical. She performed there, but I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it to the end because what she was doing was, practically, she was seducing the audience. She was, everything about it was talking about immorality. And that is why in this culture, you see places like America, in the NGO space, people say things about women are being attacked, harassed in their bodies. Men are doing terrible things to women. But some women actually encourage those kind of attacks on women without knowing it. When you are a woman and you are portraying yourself as a character for men to as a woman that men should only sleep with, that or encourage men when they watch your videos, like Ayra Starr, while she was performing, she was really seductive, and what she wore was even nothing to write home about. It was so exposing. All her most of her body parts were exposed. And when you kind of make men see women as objects, objects for just the horizontal position, objects that they just want to sleep with, they will not respect women. You even increase the incidences of abuse on women without knowing. You are now adding to that, because a lot of women are being abused. Check it everywhere. A lot of women are being abused. A lot of women, even on non-adults, and it's because of the images that men watch on their computer and on their phones. And if, like Ira said, she talked about God quite, not all the time while she was interviewed, but she talked about God for quite a bit. So if she's talking about God, but what she's portraying by her music is not portraying God. I'm not saying everybody has to be a Christian or a Muslim musician, a religious musician. There are some musicians we know, like Asa, like there's a few musicians we know that they don't expose their body parts. They sing songs that are very wholesome and are very interesting. More women should sing songs that promote things that are more wholesome, instead of making men, seducing men with their bodies and stuff. They are not doing well to the entertainment industry. Ayra Starr, I doff my hat for her. She has done so well for herself, and I see her as a nice young woman. But one thing she does not know, most likely she has been caught into a trap.